Shabbat Shalom. I'll be reading from the book of Ezekiel, chapter 3 to 7. The book of Ezekiel, chapter 3 to 7. Bear with me as I try to get through this, Yah willing. Book of Ezekiel, chapter 3, verse 1. And he said to me, Son of man, eat what you find. Eat this scroll and go speak to the house of Israel. Eat this scroll and go speak to the house of Israel. Verse 2. And I opened my mouth, and he fed me the scroll. Verse 3. And he said to me, Son of man, feed your stomach and fill your stomach with this scroll. Fill your stomach with this scroll that I am giving you. And I ate it, and it was sweet as honey in my mouth. This is a clear indication how, the word is our daily bread. It's another way of looking at that. Verse 4. And he said to me, Son of man, go to the house of Israel, and you shall speak to them with my words. You should speak to them with my words. This is his words, but it was written on the scroll was his words. Verse 5. For you are not sent to a people of foreign speech. For you are not sent to a people of foreign speech and of difficult language, but to the house of Israel. So the people that he was sent to, they were going to understand him. Verse 6. Not too many people of foreign speech and of difficult language. Not too many people of foreign speech and of difficult language. So people of foreign speech and difficult language existed then, whose words you do not understand. Whose words you do not understand. This is the book of Ezekiel. This was clearly, there were clearly a people who words could not be understood and, had foreign speech and difficult language. If I had rather sent you to them, they would have listened to you. Verse 7. But the house of Israel is going to refuse to listen to you, for they refuse to listen to me. For they refuse to listen to me. For all the house of Israel are hard of head, they're hard-headed, and hard of heart, hard of head and hard of heart, hard-headed and hard-hearted, hard-headed and hard-hearted. Verse 8, see, I shall make your face as hard as their faces. I shall make your face as hard as their faces, and your forehead as hard as their foreheads. So he's going to make them he's going to make Ezekiel just as tough, just as tough, just as aggressive. Verse 9. Well, before I need to underline that. I shall make your face as hard as their faces, and your head as hard as their heads. Verse 9. Like an adamant stone, harder than flint, I shall make your forehead. Do not be afraid of them. Do not be afraid of them. Do not be afraid of them, nor be discouraged at their looks, for they are a rebellious house. Nor be discouraged at their looks, for they are a rebellious house. And he said to me, Son of man, receive into your heart. And he said to me, Son of man, receive into your heart all my words. Receive into your heart all my words that I speak to you, and hear with your ears. Verse 11. And go, come to the exiles, to the children of your people, and speak to them, and say to them, Thus said the Master Yahuwah, whether they hear or whether they refuse. Whether they hear or whether they refuse. Verse 12. And the Spirit lifted me up, and behind me I heard the sound of a great rumbling voice. Blessed be the esteem of Yahuwah from his place. Verse 13. And the sound of the wings of the living creatures touching one another, and the sound of the wheels beside them, and the sound of the great rushing. Verse 14. And the Spirit lifted me and took me away, and I went in bitterness, in the heat of my spirit, while the hand of Yahuwah was strong upon me. And the Spirit lifted me up and took me away. And I went in my bitterness, in the heat of my spirit, and while the hand of Yahuwah was strong upon me. Verse 15. And I came to the exiles in Tel Abib, who were dwelling by the river of Kabar. And I sat where they were sitting, and sat there stunned among them 7 days. Verse 16. And it came to be at the end of 7 days that the word of Yahuwah came to me, saying, verse 17, Son of man, I have made you a watchman for the house of Israel, and you shall hear a word from my mouth, and shall warn them from me. Verse 18, when I say to the wrong, you shall certainly die, and you have not warned him, nor spoken to warn the wrong from his wrong way to save his life, that same wrong man shall be unalive in his crookedness, and his blood I require at your hand. Verse 19, but if you have warned the wrong, and he does not turn from his wrong, nor from his wrong way, he shall unalive in his crookedness, and you have delivered your being. Verse 20. And when a righteous one turns from his righteousness and shall do righteousness, when I have put a stumbling block before him, he shall unalive, because you did not warn him. He shall unalive in his sin, and his righteousness which he has done is not remembered, and his blood I require at your hand. It says, when a righteous one turns from his righteousness and shall do unrighteousness, when I have put a stumbling block before him, he shall unalive. because you did not warn him. He shall unalive in his sin, and his righteousness which he has done is not remembered, and his blood I require at your hands. But if you have warned the righteous one that the righteous should not sin, and he did not sin, he shall certainly live, because he has been warned, and you have delivered your being. Verse 22. In the hand of Yahuwah, and the hand of Yahuwah came upon me there, and he said to me, arise, go out into the plain, so that I might speak to you there. Verse 23. So I got up and went out into the plain, and see, the esteem of Yahuwah stood there, like the esteem which I saw by the river Kebra. And I fell on my face, and the Spirit entered me. And the Spirit entered me, and set me on my feet, and spoke with me, and said to me, go, shut yourself inside your house. Verse 25. And you, O son of man, see, they shall put cords on you and bind you with them, so that you do not go out in the midst. Verse 26. And I make your tongue stick to the roof of your mouth, so that you shall be dumb and not be reprover to them, for they are a rebellious house. Verse 27. But when I speak with you, I open your mouth, and you shall say to them, thus said the Master Yahuwah, he who hears, let him hear, and he who refuses, let him refuse it, for they are rebellious house. He who hears, let him hear, and he who refuses, let him refuse, for they are a rebellious house. Chapter 4, verse 1. And you, son of man, take a clay tablet, take a clay tablet, and you should lay it before you, and shall inscribe on it a city, Jerusalem. Verse 2. And shall lay siege against it, and build a siege wall against it, and heap up a mount against it, and set camps against it, and place battering rams against it all around. Verse 3. Then take an iron plate, and set it as an iron wall between you and the city, and you shall set your face against it, and it shall be siege, and you shall lay siege against it. It is a sign to the house of Yisrael. Verse 4. And lie on your left side, and you shall put the crookedness of the house of Yisrael on it, as many days as you lie on it. You shall bear their crookedness. Verse 5. For I myself have laid on you the years of their crookedness, according to the number of the days, 390 days, and you shall bear the crookedness of the house of Yisrael. Verse 6. And when you have completed them, you shall lie again on your right side, and shall bear the crookedness of the house of Yehuda 40 days, a day for a year. I have laid on you a day for a year. Verse 7. Then you shall set your face toward the siege of Jerusalem with your arm bare, and you shall prophesy against it. Verse 8. And see, I shall put cords on you, so that you do not turn from one side to another until you have completed the days of your siege. Verse 9. And take wheat and barley and beans and lentil and millet and spelt. Verse, and you shall put them into one vessel, and make bread of them. Make bread out of the beans. How about that? You shall eat it as many days as you lie on your side, 390 days. Barley, so wheat, barley, and beans, and lentil, and millet, and spelt, made bread out of it. Verse 10. And your food which you eat is by weight, 20 shekels a day, to be eaten from time to time. Verse 12. And eat it as barley cake, and bake it before their eyes on, on human dung. Verse 13. And Yahuwah said, even so the children of Israel shall eat their defiled bread among the nations to whom I drive them. Verse 14. Then I said, ah, Master Yahuwah, see, I have never defiled myself from my youth. I have never defiled myself from my youth till now. I have never eaten what died of itself or was torn by a beast, nor has unclean meat ever come into my mouth. Unclean meat ever come into my mouth, nor has unclean meat ever come into my mouth. Notice that Ezekiel is pointing out unclean meat and how it never came into his mouth. This is Ezekiel. So it was known what unclean meat was. There was a distinction what unclean meat. There was a distinction of clean between clean meat and unclean meat. So this was known. This was well known. Verse 15, and he said to me, see, I am giving you the dung of the cattle instead of human dung, and you shall prepare your bread over it. Verse 16, and he said to me, son of man, see, I am going to cut off the supply of bread in Jerusalem, and they shall eat bread by weight and with fear, and drink water by measure and with dread. Verse 17, so that they lack bread and water, and shall be appalled with one another, and be consumed in their crookedness. Chapter 5, verse 1. And you, son of man, take a sharp sword, take it as a barber's razor. As a barber's razor. Interesting. And you shall pass it over your head and your beard. Pass it over your head and your beard. And you shall take scales to the weight and divide the hair. Verse 2, burn with fire 1/3 in the midst of the city when the days of the siege are completed, and you shall take 1/3 of the strike around it with the sword, and scatter 1/3 in the wind, and I shall draw out a sword after them. Verse 3, and you shall take a few hairs from there and bind them in the edge of your garment. Verse 4, and take again some of them and throw them into the midst of the fire and burn them in the fire. From it a fire shall spread until all the house of Israel. Verse 5, thus said Yahuwah, thus said the Master Yahuwah, this is Jerusalem, which I have set in the midst of the nations with the other lands all around her. Verse 6, but she rebelled against my right rulings, doing wrong more than the nations, and my laws more than the lands all around her. For they have rejected my right rulings, and they have not walked in my laws. Verse 7, they have not walked in my laws. Rejected my right rulings, and I have walked in my and they have not walked in my laws. Verse 7, therefore, thus said the Master Yahuwah, because you have rebelled more than the nations all around, rebelled more than the nations all around you, and have not walked in my laws, nor done my right rulings, nor even done nor even done according to the right rulings of the nations all around you. Verse 8, therefore, thus said the Master Yahuwah, look, I myself am against you and shall execute judgment in your midst before the eyes of the nation. Verse 9, and I shall do among you what I have never done, and the like of which I never do again. I shall do among you what I have never done, and the like of which will never do again, because of all your abominations. Because of all your abominations. Verse 10, therefore, fathers are going to eat their sons in your midst, and sons eat their fathers, and I shall execute judgment among you and scatter all your remnant to all the winds. Verse 11, therefore, as I live, declares Master Yahuwah, defiled, because you have defiled my set apart place with all your disgusting matters, because you have defiled my set apart place with all your disgusting matters and with all your abominations. Therefore, I also withdraw, and my eyes shall not pardon, nor shall I spare. Verse 12, one third of you shall unalive of pestilence, and be consumed with scarcity of food in your midst, and one third shall fall by the sword all around you, and I shall scatter another third the winds all the winds and draw out the sword after them. Verse 13, and my displeasure shall be completed, and I shall bring my wrath to the rest upon them, and I shall be eased, and they shall know that I, Yahuwah, have spoken in my adore when I have completed my wrath upon them. Verse 14, and I shall make you a waste and a reproach among the nations that are all around you, before the eyes of all who pass by. Verse verse 15, and it shall be a reproach and an object of scorn, a warning and an astonishment to the nations that are all around you, when I execute judgment among you, displeasure and in wrath and in heated chastisement, I Yahuwah have spoken. Verse 16, when I send against them the evil arrows of scarcity of food, which shall be for their destruction, which I send to destroy you, I shall increase the scarcity of food upon you and cut off your supply of bread. Verse 17, and I shall send against you scarcity of food and evil beasts, and they shall bereave you, and pestilence and blood shall pass through you, while I bring the sword against you. I, Yahuwah, have spoken. Chapter 6. And the word of Yahuwah came to me, saying, Son of man, set your face toward the mountain of Yisrael, and prophesy against them. Verse 3. And you shall say, O mountain of Yisrael, hear the word of the Master Yahuwah. Thus said the Master Yahuwah to the mountains, to the hills, to ravines, and to the valleys. Look, I myself am bringing a sword against you, and I shall destroy your high places. Verse 4. And your slaughter places shall be ruined, your sun pillars shall be broken in pieces, and I shall make your slain fall in front of your idols. Verse 5, and lay the corpse of the children of Israel in front of their idols, and scatter your bones all around your slaughter places. Verse 6, in all your dwelling places the city shall be destroyed, and the high places deserted, so that your slaughter places are broken and bear their punishment. And your idols shall be smashed and made to cease, and your sun pillars cut down, and your works blotted out. Verse 7, and the slain shall fall in your midst, and you shall know that I am Yahuwah. Verse 8, but I shall leave a remnant, in that some of you shall escape, and shall escape the sword among the nations, and when you are scattered throughout the lands. Verse 9, and those of you who escape shall remember me among the nations where they have been taken captive, because I have been broken by their adulterous hearts, which has turned away from me, and by their eyes which whored after their idols. And they shall loathe themselves for the evils which they have done in all their abominations. Verse 10, and they shall know that I am Yahuwah, and not for nothing have I spoken to this evil to them, spoken to do this evil to them. Verse 11, thus said the Master Yahuwah, strike with your hand and stamp your feet, and say, alas, because of all the evil abomination of the house of Israel, who shall fall by the sword, by scarcity of food, and by pestilence. Verse 12, he who is far off shall die by pestilence, he who is near fall by sword, and he who left over is besieged by the scarcity of food, and I shall complete my wrath upon them. Verse 13, and you shall know that I am Yahuwah when their slain are among their idols, all around their slaughter places, on every high hill, on all mountain tops, under every green tree, and under every thick oak, wherever they offered sweet incense to all their idols. Verse 14, and I shall stretch out my hand against them and make the land a wasteland, even more waste than the wilderness, toward Diblah and all their dwelling places, and they shall know that I am Yahuwah. Chapter 7, verse 1, and the word of Yahuwah came to me, saying, verse 2, and you, son of man, this is what the Master Yahuwah said to the land of Israel, an end, an end. The end has come upon the four corners of the land. Verse 3, now the end is upon you, and I shall send my displeasure against you, and judge you according to your ways, judge you according to your ways, and repay you for all your abominations. Verse 4, and my eyes shall not pardon you, nor would I spare, for I repay your ways while your abominations are in your midst, and you shall know that I am Yahuwah. Verse 5, thus said the Master Yahuwah, a calamity, and only a calamity, look, it has come. Verse 6, an end has come, to the end has come, it has awakened against you, look, it has come. Verse 7, the turn has come to you, O inhabitants of the land. The time has come, a day of uproar is near, and not of rejoicing in the mountains. Verse 8, soon I shall pour out my wrath, and shall complete my displeasure upon you, and judge you according to your ways, and repay you for your abominations. Verse 9, and my eyes shall not pardon, nor which I spare. I give you according to your ways, while your abominations are in your midst, and you shall know that I am Yahuwah who strikes. Verse 10, see the day, see it has come, the turn has come, the rod has blossomed, pride has budded. Verse 11, the violence has grown into a rod. Pride has budded, the violence has grown into a rod of wrongdoing. There is none of them, there is none of them, and none of its crowd, and none of their riches, and none eminent among them. Verse 12 The time has come, and the day has arrived. Let not the buyer rejoice, nor the seller mourn, for wrath is on all the crowd. For wrath is on all its crowd. Verse 8, verse 13 For the seller shall not return to what has been sold, though they are still alive. For the vision is for all its crowd. It shall not turn back. And in the crookedness of his life, a man shall not strengthen himself. And in the crookedness of his life, a man shall not strengthen himself. Verse 14 They have blown the trumpet, and all it's prepared, but no one goes to battle, for my wrath is on all its crowd. Verse 15 The sword is outside, and the pestilence and the scarcity of food inside. He who is in the field dies by the sword, and he who is in the city, scarcity of food, and pestilence devour him. Verse 16, while they who escape of them shall escape and be on the mountains like doves of the valley, all of them mourning, each for his crookedness. Verse 17, all hands go limp, and all knees become as water. Verse 18, and they shall gird and sackcloth and be covered with trembling, and shame shall be on every face, and baldness on all their heads. Verse 19 They throw their silver into the streets, and their gold become as filth. Their silver and their gold is unable to deliver them in the day of wrath of Yahuwah. They do not satisfy their appetite, nor fill their stomachs, because it has been their stumbling block of crookedness. Verse 20 And the splendor of his ornament he is set in his excellency, but they made from it the images of their abominations and their disgusting matters. Therefore I shall make it like filth to them. Verse 21 And I shall give it for a prey into the hands of the strangers, into the wrong of the earth for a spoil, and they shall profane it. Verse 22 And I shall turn my face from them, and they shall profane my secret place, for destroyers shall enter it and profane it. Verse 23 Make a chain, for the land has been filled with crimes of blood, and the city has been filled with violence. Verse 24 And I shall bring the evil ones of the nations, and they shall possess their houses, and I shall cause the pride of their strong to cease, and their set apart places shall be profaned. Verse 25 Destruction shall come, and they shall seek peace, but there is none. Verse 26 Calamity upon calamity shall come, and report shall be upon report, and they shall seek a vision from a prophet, but the and they shall seek a vision from a prophet, but the teaching has perished from the priest. Mm. Teaching has perished from the priest, counsel from the elders. Mm. Verse 27 Let the sovereign mourn, and let the prince put on despair, and let the hands of the common people tremble, and I shall deal with them according to their way, and judge them with their own right rulings, and they shall know that I am Yahuwah. That completes the chapter. That completes the chapters 3 to 7 in the book of Ezekiel, and completes the Torah reading for today and this week. y'all willing, be able to do this again. Same time next week, y'all willing. Until then, peace, love, Shabbat Shalom, peace and love.